Have you ever encountered a hurdle with launching or growing your business? Listen, there are two things that run a business, the back end and your soft skills.
Telling you right now, if these aren't in place, you'll lose clients and you'll lose money. You don't want that? Well, you're in the right place.
Hey, I'm Dana.
Hey, I'm Sarah.
We're your hosts of the Entrepreneur Encounter, and we're going to give you a behind-the-scenes glance into our businesses, give you genuine feedback, tips and tricks, plus occasionally bring on guests that care about supporting you to grow your business organically and nurturing authentic relationships. Are you ready?
Today, we're diving into the key soft skills that shape the entrepreneurial journey. Things like trust, intuition, and redefining what success really means. If this conversation sparks your desire to strengthen your own soft skills, we invite you to check out our Soft Skills Studio, a space where purpose-driven entrepreneurs like you gain practical tools to lead confidently and communicate effectively. You'll find a link in the show notes to learn more and join our growing community. Now let's get into the episode.
Hey there, entrepreneurs. You have Dana here, and I'm solo entrepreneur encountering with our guest today. We're going to dive deep into the soft skills that shape our journey as entrepreneurs, and that's trust, intuition, and redefining what success truly looks like. I think at the time of this recording, this is a really great time because it is still January and the goal energy is gone, but this is a great thing to remind yourself of your goals and keep that momentum going of what success looks like. So stepping into the unknown can feel overwhelming, and learning to trust yourself as a leader is one of the most valuable skills you can develop. So today we have Jana with us, and she's an expert in guiding fellow entrepreneurs toward aligned, purpose-driven success. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I thought you were going to say it's the perfect day because it's Valentine's Day and it's all about...
That too.
Exactly. Loving your dream, loving your business and showing up fully. So yeah.
I love that. Do you want to take a moment to explain, tell us who you are and your journey into entrepreneurship?
Yeah. Thank you for the introduction. I'm Jana. I'm a hypnotherapist, a Kundalini yoga teacher, and I support soulful entrepreneurs who are ready to fully step into service with confidence, who want to be visible, be seen, and share their gifts with the world from a space of self-belief, a space of full magic, allowing themselves to be in the world as they were meant to be. Because many entrepreneurs are holding back, and that definitely has been part of my journey. So I worked 10 years corporate as a marketeer, feeling completely lost, feeling completely a lack of belonging, and this constant desire to be somewhere else and to launch my own business, a constant desire to share my gifts, share what I love with the world, but also a constant doubt. Can I do it? And is it possible? And how will it work? And this constant kind of fear of failing, fear of not being enough, not being able to do it. And somewhere along the way, I ventured into the world of entrepreneurship. And that's a long journey of self-development, a long journey of spirituality, and one step at a time got me to where I am today, going back to help people with the same things that I've struggled with. That's a bit about me, but I'll let you lead with the questions.
I love that. I feel like that's something that every entrepreneur faces at some point, no matter where they are in the journey, but definitely in the beginning, is fear of the unknown. What does entrepreneurship mean? What does it look like to own your own business or be your own boss? That moment when you're standing on the edge of a very big decision and unsure of what next. It was easy for me to go working full-time and launching my business to going part-time and doing my business, splitting it evenly. But the step from quitting my stable paycheck giving job to going into entrepreneurship, where if I don't have clients, I make no money, and all of the things that come with that, that was very fear-filled. So what do you think trusting yourself in such crucial moments? Like, how do you get people to trust themselves and to take that next step?
Yeah. So first of all, what I want to say is, since we're referring back to the corporate world or the kind of systematic way of making money and living in terms of sustaining ourselves financially, that is a world that creates kind of a map for us of how life should look like, right? You graduate, you get that 9 to 5 job, and at the end of every month, you get a salary. And we create the system, society, family creates a map for us of this is how you survive life. This is how you go about life. And as entrepreneurs who have desires, dreams, and a vision, fear comes up because we recognize that there's no map actually for the entrepreneurial world, that there is no, this is how you do it. You get the degree, you get the job, and then there's a promise that at the end of the month, you get a certain salary and you keep doing it and doing it. And there's no map for that. So the first thing is to recognize that entrepreneurship as a journey looks very different than what we've learned success and safety, stability, whether it's financial, but also independence in your life. It's very different than what we've been taught for decades since we were born, right? If you're somewhere in your 30s or 40s, we've learned for such a long time that this is how it looks like. But now we're trying to defy that and say, what if it could look differently for me? And that can be scary because it's like, okay, now navigate this world, but there's no map. You just have to really trust in yourself. You only have kind of a compass that tells you you're on the right path, maybe not, adjust, go right, go left, but there's no clear map. And the first thing is to recognize that you're navigating like a new land, as I say, versus a lot of entrepreneurs are trying to replicate the same feeling of safety and stability that you get in the system. As in, why am I not getting that safety of an end of month income? Or why isn't everything so clear? Or why isn't it so obvious and so easy? So we're trying to find the same things that the system gives us. But the first thing is to recognize that you're in a new land, a new language, new people, new community, new way of doing things. And you have to allow yourself to be open to the new and not looking for the same thing that the system gives you, which is, I would say, kind of a trap that we're trying to be like, I need the same safety. It's not going to be the same. It's different. And that's the first thing, is to recognize this is different. And you're going to have to be so open to that change. So that's just one thing I wanted to bring across, because we spoke about the shift from the system corporate into entrepreneurship. There's a lot more I want to share there, but I want to pause and see if something's coming up for you here.
Well, I also feel like it's good to point out that it is different. And I want to just talk about myself. Sometimes different and feels wrong just because it's different. Or the way that someone was talking at a co-working mastermind earlier this week, and it was around the premise of there's not just one way to do something. So it's just because my virtual assistant does something, like she gets to point B in a more zigzagged manner, and I am more of a let's get there straight. Like, both probably take the same amount of time. They're just different, but that doesn't mean her way is wrong. It's just different. So learning to be okay, and like you said, have an open mind to see if this different way does align, and you just got to get used to the new normal of this is your map, this is your path, or it doesn't, and then you just need to find a different way.
I love that 100%. It's really trusting that, whereas in the system, again, like we are given the way somehow, and everyone is working within a similar kind of energy, right? With entrepreneurship, you have to really trust in yourself a bit more, in the intuition that's within you, learning how you find your energy, learning how you tap into your intuition, how you make choices, how you redirect yourself. It's really kind of coming from within. So there's this whole new level of trust to be tapped into, curiosity and self-exploration, I would say it's the fastest way to grow as well. So I've grown on my entrepreneurial journey like 10 times faster than I've grown 10 years in corporate. So there's a lot of growth that goes on that path of self-trust and tuning in to ask yourself what you need versus the boss and what do we do tomorrow and what's the goal and how do I get there, right?
That's true. You are the boss. I think that was the biggest struggle for me is breaking free from the conventional expectation that someone is going to tell me how to run my own business. And there is no one to do that. If my business is successful, it's my fault. Like I did that. I hired the people to do the things. I supported the people. I searched for clients. I did the work. So it is successful. But if it fails, it is also my fault. I dropped the bar somewhere. I did not hire the right person. I did not partner with the right client. I've had many of moments with that. So success is, for me, is a big roller coaster. It has ups and downs. And ultimately, for me, success is I got to go to the gym this morning and then come home and do this podcast with you. Whereas when I was working 9 to 5, there was no way I was going to the gym before work. I was getting kids to school and I was going straight to work, maybe eating lunch, going to pick them up, and then doing it all over again. I now have the flexibility to grow a business, but also take care of myself so that I can take care of everyone else. And I didn't really have that before. So that's me reimagining success. Is it financial dollars? A little, but overall, I'm more on the emotional side of things of I get to take a break when I need to take a break because I have worked with enough people to know here's where I'm the most productive. Here's where I'm not, and I need to just take a break. And here's when I need to spend time with my kids and shifting those priorities. So when you're working with someone, I feel like that's another challenge you've kind of gone back and forth with is breaking free from that conventional expectation or conventional success. How do you bring that out of someone? Because this is 5 years in the making for me. I launched my business in 2020, and it has taken me 5 years to be able to say this. This is what success is to me. This is what I wanted. I mean, I have stressful days, but I'm not overwhelmed or burnt out. I'm typically what someone said earlier is poured out. I have poured myself out into this business, so I do need to recharge, but I'm not burnt out that I want to light it on fire and do something else.
Yeah, I love that.
Hey there, listeners. Ever feel like you're struggling to connect with customers or lead your team effectively? That's where soft skills come in.
Entrepreneur Encounter isn't just another podcast. We're a community dedicated to helping early stage entrepreneurs like you master the soft skills that make or break a business.
Technical skills are important, but without communication, collaboration, and confidence, your business might never get off the ground to the next level.
In our membership, Dana and I share actionable insights and tips to help you nurture the soft skills you need to thrive.
Give you access to bonus content, workshops, and a network of like-minded entrepreneurs who are all on the same journey.
We'll teach you how to boost your confidence,
become a leader who inspires and motivates your team,
navigate conflict like a pro,
to resolve disagreements without drama and build stronger relationships,
communicate clearly and concisely, get your message across, build trust, and close the deal.
If you're ready to take your business to the next level, join the circle by clicking the link in the show notes.
So what I believe is that it is kind of an identity recreation that we're doing. So since childhood, most of us have created a certain identity of who we are based on, again, society, culture, family. And that identity could have put us in a box where it takes us down that, let's say, standard path of how to work and how to make money and how to enjoy life and what happiness looks like. Anyway, so the first thing to do is to start reimagining who you want to become. So the mind cannot differentiate imagination from reality.
Oh,
I'll give you an example. When you go watch a movie, right? And let's say since it's Valentine's Day, it's a very romantic movie. And at one point you get so in love with the characters and you find yourself crying at some point. So in that moment, the mind lost track that this is actually a movie and these are just actors and started to believe that this is real. And your body reacted to it as if it was reality.
Ooh, okay.
Same thing in life. The movie that you are creating for yourself in terms of how my world looks like, what my dreams look like, the mind believes it. And you, as your mind, your body, your soul, start to act and behave in the world as that identity that you're imagining for yourself. So why am I sharing this? The first and most important thing as you're moving from that old self into the entrepreneurial self and moving into the unknown is to be very clear on that new identity that you're inviting into your journey. As in, as you said, who do I want to be as an entrepreneur? How do I want my life to look like? Who do I want to be serving? How do I want to be showing up every day? You're getting a chance to recreate yourself as a person fully. And if you don't take a step back to imagine how that life looks like, the kind of person I want to be, even the kind of money I want to attract or clients I want to work with, that vision of what am I creating, that is fundamental. Because when you get to imagine it, then you start believing it, and then it becomes easier for you to act on it. So it really comes down first to being very clear on your vision, on your dream, and on the person you want to become in life and in business. And then starting to ingrain that vision deep into the mind as this is who I am, then bringing what kind of actions would this person invite into their everyday life? How would they act? How would they feel? How would they behave? And then starting to actually become that person.
I like that. I love that perspective. And I feel like I've heard it a lot. I mean, well, you do hear that a lot of manifestation, but no one really talks about like, what does that mean? Or how do you do that? Just, oh, manifest your goals. Well, I'm in between logical and woo-woo. So I do need like almost a step-by-step process of that's what I'm doing. I'm essentially creating a movie. I'm envisioning the long 10-year goal, but then the logic side of me needs to now reverse engineer and break that down into small bite-sized actionable steps. I guess it can change. At least I feel like it can change. Because when I first started, I didn't want to be a business owner. I had no desire to do this full time. I was a single mom of 3, and I just wanted extra money in my bank account. So in case life happened, as it usually does, I had an ability to not panic when that happened. But my vision now is to be more independent and not like build a framework or a structure that allows me to work more intimately with my clients, because I do organic marketing and you got to really know their service. You got to really dive in and get nitty gritty with their SEO that would attract the clients and like algorithms. And that takes a lot of time. Essentially, what it boiled down to is I needed to price it that would allow me to be that collaborative with my clients. Because when I first started, my price point was too low. So I had to have more clients, but then I wasn't able to give them the experience that I wanted to or that they deserved because they're also trying to grow their business. So I would love to hear like a real world example of someone maybe you've worked with that redefined success in a way that completely, like you could see the change in their business and their life.
Well, first, what I want to say based on what I hear you sharing, Dana, is that, that strategy part of business and the actions that I need to take to get there. And that is crucial. However, that is not possible when someone doesn't believe in themselves and believe in the vision that they're creating. So you could have the most perfect step-by-step process and framework and business strategy. But the moment you say, let me come to execute it now, that inner voice that says, is it even possible for me to succeed at this? Or what if someone judges me when I put it out there? Or what if I'm not good enough? The moment that voice takes over, even the best business strategies fail. And the ones who succeed are the people who show up, not with the necessarily best business strategy, but with the belief that no matter what I'm going to put out there, I'm so good that it's going to work because I believe it. So that deep sense of self-belief, self-confidence, and knowing that I deserve, that I'm worthy of this being out in the world and of me receiving success, I would say is at the core of business strategy working. And a lot of research and insights show that 5% of entrepreneurs or 5% of success goes to business strategy and 95% is mindset. So if you really look at any of like the big successful, even athletes or people who've won, who've summited, let's say, huge mountains, and they're being interviewed at that moment of, how did you do it? Or what was your turning point? What happened? No one's going to say, it's that technique I used to help me summit that last bit, or it's that arm movement that I learned in this tennis technique that made me win that last point. Every successful person would say it was my mindset, that I didn't give up, that I believed in myself, and that I fueled something in me that made me keep going. It is that makes the difference. So I just wanted to put that out as in why I'm speaking a lot about that inner belief, that inner vision, and fueling that up. And what I've seen is I have many examples of people who have a tremendous amount. I just worked with someone yesterday, so I'll give that example because it's fresh in my mind, has years of certifications as a therapist. Like, you know, when you're stacking diplomas and certifications and tremendous amount of training in therapy, in being a therapist, but hasn't ever worked with a client because of the single fear that she's not good enough. And that has nothing to do with her strategy, with her ability to actually serve and support people, and has everything to do with her belief about herself because of something her mother told her growing up, that she'll never be good enough. And what we've worked on and all we've been working on is for her to see that she's good enough, that she can be of service, and that she can show up. And now what she's doing is she's starting to work with clients. Did she learn a new business strategy? No. Did she get a new certification in therapy and coaching? No. She only learned how to step into confidence, to trust that her skills and gifts are worthy, that there are people out there who would pay for her service because she can change their life. So self-belief is at the core of business success for entrepreneurs. And here I'm speaking about entrepreneurs in service, entrepreneurs who are having to show themselves and not just a product, although it's a very similar, I would say, concept.
Honestly, I feel like that is the mic drop moment, because I feel like you are helping entrepreneurs combat imposter syndrome that we hear a lot.
Yes.
Of, I know I'm guilty and I know I'm not the only one. When I first launched, I've gotten better, I will say. But I would look at like the Jenna Kutchers of the world and I'm like, man, I really want to be like her. And honestly, I'm not doing much different than her. I'm sharing my message. I'm posting on social media. I have clients, thankfully. I have referrals coming in, but I constantly feel like every time I come up with a new service, so the service that I have right now sat on the back burner for over a year. Because I kept thinking no one will want this. No one will be interested in this. Pivoting to Pinterest marketing was scary because I was like, no one's really talking about it. No one understands how to utilize it, this, that, and the third. And I really finally, I have a separate podcast and it's the Unapologetic Pinner. That's why I called it that, because I was tired of feeling like my thoughts and passions into organic marketing wasn't worth sharing. And so I started with that self-belief of, I am unapologetically sharing this with you. I think every business, no matter what your industry is in, it's worth testing, trying out, and seeing the benefits. When I just haphazardly did it, it worked and I made a sale. So imagine if we put focus and like dedication to it, what would happen? And I still have to tell myself that. Like, I still will, before a big meeting or something, and no one can see this, but Jana can see it. I'll do like this superhero pose where I stand there and I remind myself, like, I can do this. I can talk to these people without getting nervous. I have something that can help them, even if they don't understand it. My goal is to help them understand and to answer questions, and then hopefully they want to work with me. But that's hard. That's a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, because that is really at the essence of what I'm sharing, is that we're so used to being in the past familiar self. And this is the moment the mind takes you back to say, that amazing idea you have, put it on the side because it's too scary. And why does the mind do that? The mind does that because it likes the familiar, the safe. And the familiar safe is just hide, just do things in old ways. Don't take steps forward because what if I fail? What if they judge? Blah, 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 blah. And 95% of our behavior are based on subconscious beliefs that we're not even aware of, that stop us and keep us in the known. But what you did, Dana, is that you actually stood in the way of those old beliefs and said, no, I am good enough and I'm going to do it. And that is stepping into the new self and reimagining that identity that you want to show up as. So you're almost like retraining the mind to say, look, this is who I'm becoming. And these are the actions I'm taking. And you're training the mind to see the new vision that you're creating for yourself and take action from that space. And that's one thing that I teach all my clients to work through on their entrepreneurial journey, is every single day, and I do this personally every single day, I'm not kidding, I have at least a few minutes where I'm writing what is my big dream and my vision every single day. It's not like a New Year resolution, let me write my vision and my dream. No, every single day I'm sitting with my dream and vision. This is who I'm becoming. This is what I'm attracting. This is what I'm doing in the world. This is how my ultimate lifestyle that I want to, this is the money I'm attracting, whatever it is that you want to work towards. And then from that vision, every single day, I ask myself, what are the aligned actions that I can take today that are aligned with this vision? What is this person who's already living this dream? She's already there somewhere, right? How would she act today? Oh, she would show up. She would go for it. She would just put it online. She would call that person and say, hey, I'm looking for an opportunity to collaborate. She would do those things. So I asked myself, how would that future self who's already living the vision of that successful entrepreneur, how would they act today? Then I take action from that vision today. So these are two tools that are really important. And then the third tool is asking, what is still in my way? What are those nagging beliefs that are still trying to pull me back? And often it's either I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. So even if I put something out there, who's going to buy? Who's going to care? Or what if they judge? Feel of failure, people judging, people not caring, people unfollowing me, my family seeing me and saying, who does she think she is? Whatever it is, right? So those things are subconscious and nagging. And daily working on reframing those into I am worthy, I deserve, I am enough, I'm doing it and going for it.
I'm doing it. That's the one thing.
I'm doing it.
That's such a refreshing way to look at it, of the daily. I think we do need those daily reminders. I probably need to put mine on a picture frame on my desk so I can look at it every day. I never thought about writing things down. I just have gotten in the practice of I am doing amazing things. That's usually what I tell myself. I am doing amazing things. I can do amazing things. I can be a CEO. I can do whatever it is, that like big thing that I'm working on. And one big shift was I can allow myself the space to work in my business and not just one-on-one with clients. And that has also been a big shift, is I can do the CEO things, not just the virtual assistant things, which is how I started. I love that.
Yeah. Just to say something on this is use I am instead of I can, because I can feels a bit like I can, but I'm not doing. So really affirming, I am the CEO because you are, that I am creating space. Like I'm already doing it. The mind likes the present tense. So the moment you start to say that I'm doing it later, or I will, or I can, but it's not happening yet, then the mind's going to be like, ah, okay, yeah, you can, sure. But the moment you're telling them, listen, I am successful, I am worthy, I'm deserving, I'm able, I'm doing it, I am a CEO, is the moment the mind's like, again, like it's watching that romantic movie. It's like, oh, wow, I'm doing it. Like it gets excited physically, emotionally, energetically to believe that it's already happening. And the moment you believe it's already happening, it actually happens because you're already living in that energy.
Okay. Well, then I will fix my statement, not like fix, but I will
upgrade,
alter my statements to only be that I am. I'm going to leave it at that. I love that. So this has been extremely valuable. And we didn't actually touch on some other things that I wanted to touch on. So I'm probably going to follow up with you to have you back. Before we had talked about the
masculine and feminine energies.
Yes, I will have you back. I will 100% have you back so that we can talk about just that, because I do feel like that is an important conversation to have. And maybe that'll be a fun, like, middle of the year refresher as people are like reviewing the past 6 months and how to find that balance in creativity, but then also hustle, get strategy done type thing. So we will definitely have you back on that. But before we wrap up, is there one message, and I feel like we've had some amazing ones, that you want entrepreneurs to take away from today's episode?
I would say stop holding back. Know that if something is holding you back, it's not you, it's your mind stuck in old ways and familiar past selves. But trust that you can recreate your identity, imagine who you want to become, and take action as if you're already that person, because you are them. So do it.
I think that's my new I am statement, is I am recreating my identity.
I love it.
Love that one. So that's such a powerful takeaway. And I cannot wait to see what other people think when this episode airs. So for those who do tune in and want to connect with you and learn more, where can they find you?
The best way to find me is on Instagram at TuneInWithJenna.
Perfect. All right. So we will definitely make sure that those are in the show notes so they can easily find you. And thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today and rolling with the punches today.
Thank you for having me. This was wonderful.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. Remember, soft skills aren't just some fluffy buzzwords that get thrown around in the corporate world. They're the key to unlocking your full potential as a professional and a human being. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself and seek out opportunities to improve your soft skills. Sarah and I have a variety of workshops, online courses, and complimentary clarity calls for you to practice in real time with us. Links are always in the show notes. And be sure to join us next time for more insights, tips, and tricks to help you succeed in your entrepreneur encounter.